Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Corey Kavanaugh, and we will be talking about supporting students and teachers and the vital roles of school counselors and social workers. We will go over the issues they face, resources available to teachers, especially in Kenosha Unified School Districts. So, who are they? They are mental health professionals in schools. They help with emotional, behavioral, and academic challenges. They collaborate with teachers, families, and administrators. They work with student support to encourage achievement. They work for mental health and on social development, acting as liaisons between schools, families, and communities. There are different responsibilities for each role. So first we'll talk about school counselor responsibilities. So they are in charge of academic and career counseling, social emotional learning. They usually teach these to different age groups. And then MTSS, so that stands for a multi-tiered system of supports. There's three tiers. The first one is school-wide. The next one are groups, and the third one is individual support. They mostly use this system to meet student needs and they guide trauma-informed practices and mental wellness programming. And they do this with collaboration and consultation. So this information came from the ASCA in 2019 and from an article written by Perryman et al. In 2025. The next one that we have or title that we have are school social worker responsibilities. They are in charge of addressing family behavioral issues, attendance, and trauma issues. They act as advocates, case managers, and reformers. They have a with schools model that encourages policy input and systemic change. While sometimes they're marginalized, school social workers bring critical macro level skills to education reform and are central to inclusive, equitable learning environments. And this came from an article in 2018. So, what challenges do they face? The first one is role ambiguity, and this is a situation where individuals are unsure or unclear about the expectations, responsibilities, and boundaries associated with the role of their position. So, most often, school counselors and school social workers can be unsure of what their role is in the school. So this is a challenge, one of them of many that they face. Another one is teacher and counselor disconnect. So often there is information that the counselor knows that the teacher doesn't, in reference to their students. There is vicarious trauma and burnout. This just happens because of what the counselors and social workers are taking in from the students. So with a large amount of caseloads, they can experience burnout pretty easily. The demand for school counselors and school social workers has gone up, and the caseload for students coming into them has become higher with less social workers and school counselors available. There is also a lack of trauma in teacher preparation. So this is a lack of teaching trauma-informed practices in preparation for teachers to understand and how to know and approach children who have experienced any sort of trauma. This can be any sort of ACE, adverse child experience. So next are resources for KUSD teachers, school counselors, and social workers in each school. This is from the KUSD website in 2024. There are professional development resources on SEL and trauma. SEL is social emotional learning. There are mental health partnerships, so external meaning there are ones outside of the school that are available to them. And there is an MTSS framework for student support teams. This provides comprehensive support, including referrals, trauma-enforced training, and integrated intervention strategies, both for students and educators. National and state resources. So these are just a few of many, but the first one is ASCA. This is called the American School Counselor Association. This website includes training and trauma policy schools, um, policy tools that schools can implement in their district. And then there is SSWAA, and this is the National Practice Model included from the School Social Work Association of America. Last one is Wisconsin DPI. This is Social Emotional Learning and Certification Guidance. This web source includes a lot of different links and resources. This is just one of them that I picked out for this presentation and topic, but there are many on there that relate to school counselors and social workers. Um, so these agencies offer professional development, advocacy, and guidance to help teachers, counselors, and social workers collaborate effectively. Lastly, there are final thoughts. My final thoughts on this. School support staff are essential to student success. So whether that be teachers, administrators, school counselors, school psychologists, a school social worker, all of these people are important in ensuring the success of a student, both academically and emotionally, behaviorally, their well-being in general. Collaboration is key, so making sure that students, teachers, and school social workers and school counselors are collaborating also with families and communities is key for their success and to mitigate these issues that these schools are facing. So use the available resources that I've linked because you are not alone in this. They are allies in navigating trauma, behavior, and mental health challenges. So let's work together for our students. Finally, I have a few resources that I found on this problem and this issue topic. So feel free to check these out afterwards if you feel the need to. So thank you so much.